Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring the October 15, 2024 Greater Clark County School Board Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, if you note that Mr. Jones will be absent, but Ms. Perkins will be just a tad late. But if you would all stand, please say the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. The first item would be the approval of the agenda. And board, I move that we approve that agenda as presented. Could I please have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstaining. The next item would be the approval of the minutes, previous minutes. I would move that we approve those. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments regarding those? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstaining. The next item would be public comments. I believe we do have public comment. Okay, if you would like to, Mr. Hunt, if you would like to. Well, you have to have it up there for you, so you'll be on TV and stuff. But if you just state your name and where you live and have at it.
Okay, I'm Charles Hunt. I have 8 contract routes with Greater Clark, 5 in Charlestown, 3 in Jeffersonville. I'm having some issues over this, I don't know if lack of respect is a word, but lack of cooperation and lack of, I guess maybe respect for the bus drivers. I've had an issue, I had to turn around, I was personally filling in, had to turn around, go back to the school, asked that the kid be removed from the bus, and I was told that couldn't happen. I said, well, ma'am, I own this bus. I said, you can either take him off the bus, or I said, well, say you're all right. So they removed him from the bus. Now, my problem is, I keep getting this thrown up, there's got to be 3 write-ups. Number 1, there's no law stating that. Bus riding is a privilege, not a requirement. Okay, we have been threatened. Last year, Daniel sent out a letter, sent out a mass text saying that anybody caught on their cell phones while the buses were parked even would be recommended to be terminated. Now, we can't even use our cell phones because of safety and obstructing us from the view, but we can have unruly kids that we are told we have to take home, irregardless, and endanger the rest of the bus lane. I'm not doing that. That's not responsible. I didn't sign up for that. The bus driver's in total control of that school bus. Not the superintendent, not the principal, nobody. The bus driver, whoever's sitting in that seat, has total control of that school bus. This needs to be discussed with the building principals and whatnot. Okay? You can't throw us in a trick basket like what you're doing. Discipline is getting totally out of hand over here. You know, it's a nightmare. And, you know, that's the biggest reason why everybody's losing bus drivers. That's why we're getting so many GCCS drivers, but everybody knows that. Well, you all are right in line with that. I mean, Mr. Superintendent, I know that the remark has been made multiple times by you that just keep me off the news to different employees as far as transportation. Make sure the routes are covered, whatever it takes to keep me off the news. Well, you're going to make the news at the rate we're going. And it's going to be a bad deal because the first time some of these drivers will buckle and they'll say, okay, I'll take them home. If you've got a kid that will not follow your direction, will not do what you tell them, but yet we're being told to leave them on the bus and we have to take them home. Now, that's messed up. So something needs to be addressed about this. I went to transportation over this a few times. Another issue, there's no communication. I had an incident on one of my buses where a child had low blood sugar. The bus driver knew nothing about it. When I checked on it, I was told because of Privacy Acts, the bus drivers can't be given that information. That is bull. I mean, we've all got lawyers. I've got a lawyer. If anything that pertains to the safety and well-being of them children, the bus driver is privileged to know. Anything that could affect that ride home, the bus driver is allowed to know. There needs to be some communication. There's none. They don't talk to the bus drivers. They tell us nothing. They ask us nothing. We've got people sitting down in an office. Of course, Daniel's been off sick, which I hate, and it's an even bigger mess. And they don't call and ask us anything. I had a situation, I had to go to your all's human resource lady over one of the office people because I had a round earlier this year, already over routing. I said, I tried to explain to them, that's not on this bus route. Oh, yes, it is. Then my computer tells me it is. Finally, they called the bus that I said that it belonged on, and they backed me up. They said, no, that's on my route. We're just not going there right now. There's no communication. We've got sideline quarterbacks sitting down at the office telling us what to do, what not to do, without asking anything.
I got you, Mr. Hunt. I'm feeling your pain. We set a 3-minute limit, and I think the board gets a genuine sentiment of exactly what you're asking and expressing, and I appreciate you doing that, and you seem very genuine, and you seem like you very much care about the kids in this, and I appreciate your time and letting us know. So thank you so much for coming out.
Okay.
All
And I
right.
apologize for being late, not during the beginning of that, but I think I got the gist.
Well, it's just a reoccurring
Yeah,
story.
I got it.
Yes. And I'm willing to talk to anybody. I've said this before, nobody ever calls, but and I've got names, dates, everything. So, and I guess if nothing gets done, I'll see y'all next month.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next item up will be goal strategies, major funds monitoring report.
Good evening, Board. Thank you, Mr. President. This is your September month-end cash balances. For the education fund, we ended with $12.9 million. I want to make a note that when we look at that compared to this time last year, $13 million, we did have a month with 3 days. So that changes every year. So it look different every time. So we're right on target. Plus, we've turned in our ADM, so the adjustments will come. They usually get them done by December, so we'll receive an adjustment in December. They usually do their adjustments December and June on those, any money that comes in. Your operations fund, we are at 3.6 million. And you can see that this is the fund that we're focusing on. We will be implementing, taking in before too long, capital planning, prepared for high insurance increases. We've heard that on the news, 2 hurricanes back to back, and it's going to affect nationwide. So we'll be in a position to be prepared for that, because last year we only had 1.1 million. Right now, at this time last year, we had 3. This year we have 3.6. So we're really going to protect this fund. We knew that this was coming, nationwide adjustments in insurance, not because of these most recent hurricanes, but because of all of the things that happened before. So that's a big topic with Indiana school business officials on insurance. The next is your debt service. We ended September at 6.7 million, and last year was 4.6. Again, this cash balance built because we utilize that to help us with our tax rates. And then your pension fund is $340,000. You'll get your second distribution in December to be paid for this pension fund block. But last year you had $715,000. And then the rainy day is still at a very nice, healthy 10.6 million, which is over and above the 6.1 million you had last year. I won't entertain any questions of the board may have this evening.
Board?
Carry on, thank you.
You did a good job. Thank you so much. The next item up would be the consent agenda as presented. Board, do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Next item, prepared for change would be gifts and bills. Would you care to help us with that?
I would love to. You can see that at the bottom, Westland Elementary received from their PTO Kenwood portable radios for communication safety of the building in the amount valued at $3,422.20. We also have some big donations there. College Go Week by Austin and Andrea Wiggum. They're in Washington. And several others. I move that we approve these donations in the amount of $6,071.67.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do we have a second for that?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Next item, action item, resolution for supplemental payments. Ms. Helton, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good. The supplemental pay list is a little bit longer this time. Those presented are to allow payments to the teachers listed for degree changes, earning an admin license, or for teaching dual credit courses. Teachers teaching dual credit courses or obtaining an administrative license will receive $500 in supplemental pay. Teachers earning a master's degree will receive $2,500 in supplemental pay, and the ones with the plus 30 will receive $3,000 in supplemental pay. The payments have been discussed with community peers.
Okay. Board, I move that we approve the supplemental payments as presented by Ms. Helton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okay, next would be the ESS addendum, substitute pay, teaching pay.
Attached is an amendment to our contract with ESS, our substitute provider. As the special education demands and the number of students in need are continuing to rise, we want to increase the rates for our severe teachers and paras by $10 a day. So the severe teachers would go up to $135 a day, and then the paras would go up to $105 per day. In addition to increasing the pay, we also are going to offer some additional training to these substitutes to try to help with those fill rates. The cost for the training is going to be paid by ESS.
Okay. Board, I move that we approve the attached ESS addendum. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Any questions or comments from Ms. Helton? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okay, no.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Lamp workshop. Hello, Dr. Hartwich, how are you?
Good evening, Board. As you know, in our district, we have over 1,200 students who receive speech and language services. And so our Special Populations Department will partner with the Center for Augmented Assisted Communication, or Alternative Communication, to host an on-site training. It's a series for potentially our teachers who are with students who have very intensive communication issues and need support. And it is to really help those students learn how to communicate in a variety of ways other than just talking. So this is a series of workshops. It will focus on the LAB Words for Life program. The LAB program gives students who may be nonverbal to access core words on a speech-generating device and teachers those words in sensory-rich activities while using a unique motor pattern. These strategies are paired together to help students in developing more independent communication. The special ed director applied for a digital learning grant and was awarded that grant, and the amount of money is $4,000. The sessions will be January 21st and 22nd, and there will be a follow-up session in May.
Awesome. Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the LAMP workshop agreement?
A motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartwich?
Yes, so is this for the training for the teachers and the speech therapists, or is this also by devices?
This is training for the teachers who work and the speech therapists who work with those students.
Okay. For the technology grant, this covers all
The
of it?
digital learning grant this is encompassed within that grant. And so that funding, that grant paid for other things. too. That particular funding will pay for this training for those special ed teachers who work with our more intensive students.
Gotcha. For anybody who doesn't know, she did a really good job of explaining it, but it's basically what you see if you ever see me and my son out. He always has it on, it's the purple iPad, but yeah, it has the LAMP program on it. It is an expensive program, but once you know how to work it, it's life-changing. It is improving the communication. I can actually tell that my son actually has, full thoughts, can explain what he wants in full sentences. So the thing is, there's not a lot of people who actually are trained with it. I know his speech therapist is. I wouldn't say that his teacher is the best at it, but anyway, anybody who actually has a child with speech limitations, this is awesome. So it's really good to be getting this training.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman, for explaining that and your direct experience with it, but you're right. So this is really to extend beyond just our speech therapists, but expose our teachers to additional training as well.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor of the approval of the land workshop agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okay, resolution for the adoption of the 2025 budget.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations, board, this is your last
Wahoo!
thing on your 2025 budget. You will be adopting tonight a balanced budget with the understanding of how we are advertising the tax rate in order for it to come to the promised $1.10. We have hit the mark that the superintendent has promised for longer than 5 years, and we continue to grow and improve and provide for our students, which is our lifelong mission here at the district. Of these 5 resolutions, which can be done, approved individually or collectively, you'll be approving the resolution for the bus replacement plan, the capital projects plan, a resolution to establish the transfers of funding from education to operation. The seasoned board understands what that is. A resolution to adopt the appropriation, the authority to spend the funds in 25. And the tax rates that I will be advertising at the $1.55, which will come down to the $1.10. And finally, when we want to maximize the ensuing year, we have to reduce our current year appropriations if we have no intentions on using them, and that will occur in your rainy day fund. I do that every year. I put the appropriation in there just in case we may need it, but in the event that we don't, I reduce that fund so that way it frees up all the cash and allows me to ask for appropriation in the following year. So, Mr. President, I am requesting that the board consider approving these resolutions as your final step of approving your 2025 budget.
Board, I'd like to approve them all at once. Do I have a motion for the approval of resolutions adopting the 2025 budget?
I move that we approve the 5 resolutions that will adopt a balanced budget for 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments for Ms. Urick?
As usual, Laura, fantastic job. Thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
You make it sound so easy.
I do, don't I?
However,
You think back, this is my 5th year, right? And remember where we started. It is very important to my heart that you understand what I present to you. It's easy to tell you, and it's better to educate you. And you can stand firm on the pride that you should have, what you have done collectively for the school district. It is uncanny, it's unheard of, and it's very well recognized in the state of Indiana. So I thank you for that.
Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor of the approval of the resolutions presented for the 2025 budget, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Awesome. Last, the appointment of Marsh McLennan Agency as our agent of record.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are a very service-oriented school district. We give out service, we also take in good service. So we have had a lot of discussion over the course of about 9 months about our property and casualty insurance. This has nothing to do with any of our employee benefits, any health insurance. That is handled by MJ. They are a consultant, and Anthem provides those services for us amongst various other benefits that we do provide to our employees. This has nothing to do with it. We, as a school district, carry a general liability. We carry out our vehicles. We carry out our staff. We carry out our police officers. So there is a vast amount of insurance policies that we do carry, errors and omissions, those kind of things. We have to, the size of the school district, and with what's coming, have to join with partners that are going to provide us the A++ service. And we've had numerous conversations over the last couple of years, and it just come to light that we definitely need to have somebody who's going to partner with us and service us to the level that you got to match us. You know, you got to come up to us. And we have selected a national company that we do have a local rep here, and so is Marshall McLennan. So I'm respectfully asking that the board allow me to, I said this really early, so we have a few steps beyond this, to go ahead and engage with them. So we'll be shifting that over. I will be contacting Assured Partners. There'll be letters sent out to our providers for all of these policies, which are learning mutual. With them, that will not change. And our workers' comp will go out for bid, and Marshall Plan will handle it. So that is through EOC, and so we're probably going to expect a change there because they cannot handle national EOC. It's not just us. Those kind of claims. So there's a little bit of work to do, a little legwork, but I want to go ahead and get your opinion and approval to proceed to make this switch. And we should have that completed, within the next 2 weeks, and moving forward and receiving the proper service that we deserve. Because insurance can be very tricky and intricate, and we're engaged with someone that really understands us. They really do. They've been studying us and understand us and understand the fast movement that we're doing. Whenever we have one of these projects, I'm required to put a hit of builder's risk through that project. So they're ready, they're capable, they have enough staff, they have a main point of contact. That's what I need, because once it goes to the Liberty Mutuals and then their claims and those kind of things, I get about 250 emails a day. So I've been assured to have that main point of contact, and they will, corral everybody that needs to know. That's very appealing to me because I couldn't do what I do if I have to constantly figure out who's contacted me about, a tree, a bus, anything. So that can be pretty massive. So I would appreciate this consideration tonight.
Board, I move we approve the appointment of Marshall McLennan as our agent of record for the insurance broker. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Mustang, any questions or comments from Ms. Huber? I'll explain. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. Board comments. Ms. Hutchinson, do you have anything kind to add to the forum time?
I was gonna say, does it have to be kind?
No.
I'm just kidding. I hope everybody had a fall break. Thank you so much for speaking. And did you see how everybody was ready to talk today? Very demure. It was very mindful, very cutesy. I appreciate that. And everybody's ready to talk. Well,
Thank you. Mr. Paul?
Only that continued thoughts and prayers to the families in court and loss in Harvest Homecoming. And also empathy with Mr. Hunt as well. These days we have a lot of issues. I work in mental health as well. We have a lot of issues with kids and discipline these days. And it can be an art. There's an art to how to handle those situations. And hopefully we can get some more training for teachers and principals and all involved and being able to help that.
Great. Ms. Mustang?
that's enough.
Okay. Mr. Freeman?
No, I'm good, thanks.
All right. Ms. Perkins?
I just wanted to know about our court family, that young man, and the other two victims, but it's just tragic. I just can't imagine. And the other thing I wanted to say is, on the personnel report tonight, I see one of my old friends, an employee, is resigning. Gary Green.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he'll be missed, his energy and his ability to deal with things, so good luck, Gary.
Okay, I just want to, actually was intending on saying this before you spoke, Mr. Brown. I was going to say kudos to the bus drivers with all the road closures and things that are going on. I can't imagine that. But again, thank you for your comments, but I know there's been a lot going on out there. Charleston, Roman Pike, and whatever. So anyway, that's all I got. Mr. Lawler.
I also want to say that Gary Green has done a lot for the corporation, especially in the area of safety and attendance and security, those type of things. So he will be missed. I want to thank Mr. Hunt for coming in and sharing concerns about behaviors on the buses. I will say, we handle the bus very similar to teachers handling the classroom in terms of there's policies and procedures to follow, there's progressive discipline to follow. However, if the behavior is severe enough and extreme enough, then that child should be taken off the bus, and if it continues to happen, that's a privilege that can be revoked in terms of transportation, and so, and I think you said it best, that communication is key, making sure we know what's going on, what kind of behaviors are going on the bus, so we can communicate. If we're going to take a child off the bus, we can have that conversation with the parent that, this is an extreme behavior and we're not going to allow this on our bus, especially being that riding a bus is a privilege, it's not a right. So we'll look into that. I appreciate your comments.
Anyone else? Okay, motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson, second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.